Hello, NATO veterans. Today I'm with Saban ADANA, one of our coordinators, and we want to discuss the results of our survey with Saban ADANA. But I'd like him to introduce himself first. So Saban, could you please tell us who you are, what you do, why you're interested in NATO Veterans Initiative?
Sure. My name is Saban ADANA, West Point class of 2002. I did serve in Turkish Army for about 14 years, and most recently I was one of the military assistants to SACUR at SHAFE headquarters. I'm very much proud of this initiative that we're undertaking. I think it's important and timely endeavor to communicate and continue our service, and service does not stop with out of uniform, and I believe it's an important step toward that.
Thank you, Saban. Good to have you. So could you please remind us what the two parts of the mission statements were that we asked in our survey, and what were the responses?
Absolutely. And the initial ideas is encouraging and reaffirming on our side that the ideas that we started with resonates with a larger audience. And the first one is networking, empowerment, and solidarity. And that did come up strongly in the results. And I believe that's important because although we live in a LinkedIn age, we're still underutilizing the networking potential that we have, our backgrounds, our experiences, and we can do a lot more as NATO veterans to help each other out. And that was a signal that's sent to us in the results of the survey.
And the second part of the mission statement was the advocacy for our shared principles. And the idea for this part of the mission statement is that NATO was founded on those principles, those strong principles that really made NATO NATO. The success of the organization was mainly, can be attributed to the universality of those, core principles. And sometimes, unfortunately, we see some deviations in member or, sometimes in partner countries as well. So that part of the mission statement is aiming to have a veteran support or advocacy for those core principles. And how were the results for that?
We saw a stronger response for that. About 68% of the participants voiced their opinion on that. And I would argue that's even a more important, aspect of our initiative. And as you well put, it is the values that made NATO relevant over these 70 years, not just the weapon systems. And if you take away those values, it's just going to be, those hard power and weapon systems, and that's about it. And that resonated in the results. And I believe we have a responsibility and a calling as a former NATO officer to communicate this and be a voice for this, for those values. And that again came up a good response on the survey.
Yeah, thank you, Shaman. Just to be more accurate, the 68% is the percentage of responses who voted for the first part and the second part of the mission at the same time. So 68% told us that we should have, as NATO Veterans Initiative, those two-pronged mission in our mission statement. So what are the next steps, Shaban? I know we have some plans for some Zoom meetings, idea generation meetings, some sharing some documents, but can you share what those plans are for the future?
Absolutely. We are still, let's clarify that we're still at the very early phases, and we're open to suggestions, feedback, any sort of ideas to move forward. So we don't want it to be just two minds getting together making something up. It's going to be it's going to be more valuable if you have wider perceptions, experiences, inputs onto this. And to do that, we are planning to do some Zoom meetings, idea generation meetings, and we would love to have you in those meetings to have some ideas back and forth so that we can find a better path forward. And we'll do some, we'll also share some initial documents that will lay out some of the initial ideas that we have, but they're all a draft, and we can provide your input, and it's a co-creation process among ourselves. So that will be coming up. Stay tuned on those, and we'll keep you posted.
Well, thank you for those. Sounds quite, exciting and interesting. And I'm hoping that we have a lot of veterans of NATO countries who share this enthusiasm and excitement with us. And we're really curious about your thoughts. And please, feel free to reach out with any ideas that you have, that what you want the NATO Veterans Initiative to become is important to us. We want to include as much possible of your ideas as we go forward. And thank you, Saban, for joining me today to talk about the results of the survey and the future of the NATO Veterans Initiative. And thank you for watching this. Any final thoughts on Veterans Initiative, Saban?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and would like to personally thank you for those who provided some input with the survey. And again, we'll keep you posted. Have a great day and stay tuned.